Hiya, I'm that James Wisdom, and this is another LEGO unboxing and building, and in this video we're going to be looking at the LEGO Detective's Office from the Expert range. Alright, so it's been a little while since I did one of these LEGO unboxing and building videos, and I picked up the Detective's Office with my Christmas bonus from work. So I thought what I would do is I would put it together and give you a stock frame of it all being built, and then a little review of it at the end. So let's start by looking at the box. As you can see, this is a kind of three-part building. We've got the main area here, which is the detective's office up the top, and there's also sort of a bar pool room underneath. Next to that we've got a little alleyway with balconies, and then there's a sort of another building you can see connected around the back here, and then there's Owl's Barbers and some flats along there as well. So that's kind of cool. Let's spin this box around so you can see the back as well. And there's the back, and on the back you can see a bunch of different scenes from those areas I just mentioned. So we have up here the barber's shop, the pool room, the mayor's office, I think this is, so it's an office of some description. Oh, it's the detective's office up there as well, and another one of the detective's office here. So there's lots of pictures of just things going on. There's a narrative involved in this this build, in that the detective is investigating where or who is producing cookies and selling cookies. It's sort of a Prohibition era style theme, but obviously because it's Lego they can't have alcohol in it, so instead what they have is kind of cookies being banned. You can see on the top all the list of the bricks, so there's a huge number of bricks in here. It is 2,262 pieces according to this, and if we just bring it up to the end, you can see here all of the minifigures that are available in this. Oh, one thing I should mention as well, just before we get the box cracked open, is that this is a three-tiered system. So you can see there's a ground floor, a middle floor, and a sort of rooftop with an extra rooftop that detaches there as well, for this to connect to all of the other modular buildings range here. So you've got the Palace Cinema, which I've done a video on before, and that's what I'll be popping this next to in my own display. So having looked at the box, it's quite a large box. You can see this is my hand here, so it's quite a big box. Let's get it open up and see what bags are actually inside it. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to slice down one end and go through the tape. Ooh, let's try not to ruin my tablecloth. And up from this end as well. There we go. Let's open that up and see what's inside. So there's quite a lot in here, obviously. So let's just start pulling these out. There are our manuals and our base plate there. So let's put those to one side as well, while we just tug out all of these bags. Try and tug them out, put them into orders. So far the highest number I'm seeing is number 4. Another smaller base plate there. Another number 4, 3, 4, 1, 3, and they're so far away from me now I can't pour them. There you go. Let's get the box out of the way, and then you can see here now just how many bags there are. So there are a huge number of bags with this set, unsurprisingly based on the number of pieces. As I said, it was well over 2,000 pieces. So let's quickly just have a look here, see if there's anything in the bags that we can see that's exciting. But really the main thing to point out is that there are 4 kind of build stages to this, and we've got this nice kind of dark brown base plate, and this presumably is for a rooftop piece or something like that. So let's next look at the books. So it feels like it's actually just one thick book in here, so there's not multiple books, just the one. What I'll do is I'll get this bag opened up There we go, tear that down the front there. Oh, that didn't work at all. There we go, that's better. Tear that open like that. Oh dear, I've done a terrible job of this. There we go, right. So there is the book itself. As I say, just one book, just one really, really long book. And as you can see, 4 sections there. So first bag is going to build the pool room down at the bottom. The second bag is going to build Al's barber's shop, or second set of bags. And then bag 3 is the detective's office and the stairwell here above the barber shop. And finally, bag 4 is the rooftop as well. So those are our bits. Anything exciting in here? There's a yellow page in the middle there, just an advert randomly in the middle, just before we get to stage 3. So you can see that's when we start building the person that's come to see the detective and the detective themselves. And that's it, yeah. So that's the book, really high quality, you know, shiny cover, high quality material on the cover as usual with these sets. So I guess really all that's left to do is start building this up and have a look. Alright, so this is it. This is the ground floor, which has a barber shop on this side, and then a sort of pub, pool, room area here as well. There are 4 minifigures so far. I'm going to take those out of the way, because we'll look at those at the end. But basically what we've got at the moment, we've got the hairdresser, or the barber, the police officer, and 2 blokes at the pub. So I'm just going to take them out of the way first of all, and then let's have a look at what's actually on the inside and outside of this first floor, this ground floor. So first of all, let's have a look at the Barbers. The Barbers has got this really nice sign. It's all brick built, so there's no stickers or anything like that. This is all made of pieces, laid up to build the letters and the punctuation there as well. You've got this kind of pair of scissors as a like feature on the wall, and there's the little sort of barbering pole here, which is nice. There's this nice tiled area out the front here for the barber's shop, which goes through an alleyway that leads all the way through. So let me just lift this up slightly so you can see the front of that properly, and you can see all the way through the alleyway there. There are some stairs on the inside just here to go up. If you look closely at the decor on the front of the pub as well, it says the Highlander, which is the name of the pub. Then you've got these kind of green decorative domes here, and then the door is slightly inset into the middle there. There's also this really nice red transparent bit at the top with some red and orange sort of stained glass there. But as I say, let's move through this alleyway and see round the back. Now as you see it, me turn it, you'll see that the sides, as is usual with these things, are not the most attractive things. They're designed to be covered up by other buildings. But when, whoops, I've taken the roof off there. It's very easy to come off that bit, but it's supposed to. So for full access. In fact, I will take that roof off straight away so you can see inside. But this is the back view of everything, where you've got this little door at the back here with a bit of green on it. This is for an action feature, or a sort of a narrative feature, should I say, for that as well. You can see there's just sort of, mostly they've left this brown out the back here, but there's the dustbin here, which again has an item in, which is designed to be part of the narrative of this piece. You can see through now, if you look at the back, the Highlander windows a little bit more clearly where the printing is. So there's all print. Everything here is print or brick built. There's nothing that's stickers on this, and that's pretty standard with these sets. Now you can see inside these two rooms, you've got on the barber shop side over here some stairs which lift up out the way, so you've got full access for play in there, and there's a little sink in there, there's the barber's chair, there's a mirror in the end as well, which you could see right at the end there hopefully, and these two little lights as well as a couple of other bits. Whoops, pulled one off. Pop that back on. There it is. Put the stairs back down. And if we have a look at the bar as well, so the bar really is just a pool table, and there's a dartboard as well, which you can see just about there next to the trophy. So that's really nice, and it's got this really nice kind of hanging fan which you can move out the way, or you can just pull off relatively easily to get access to inside there as well. Now let's pop that back in like that. There you go, hang it back in place. It spins, of course. It's quite nicely made actually. It's made of these sort of snowshoes, two of those put back to back in brown, and then you've got the pool table underneath. So that's everything to this particular part of the set. The ground floor, the base of the building with the path out the side as well. I imagine we'll be putting some lampposts on these black bits at the end as well as kind of detail pieces. I think there's a table or something that goes out here as well. But that's it. So let's, without any further ado, get on with the next part of this build, which is the actual detective's office itself. Alright, so that's it. That's the second story, or the first floor of the detective's office building here. And that actually gives us the detective's office and a sort of little toilet, bathroom, living area here, like a sort of flat. Now, we've got two minifigures that come with this part, which are this lady here and the detective himself, Ace Brickman. Let's move those out the way, and again we'll talk about the minifigures later on in the video. But before we do that, let's have a quick look at the actual build here. So we've got a lot of this blue colour. There's actually two shades of this blue, the very light kind of eggshell blue, and then a sort of more baby blue along the sides. As I spin this around, you can again see it's not particularly pretty at this side here. Actually, while I've got it at this angle, it's nice to see the detective's office back here. Oh, the poster has fallen down off the wall, but there's a lot of details on this back wall in general, with things like this poster being slightly off kilter, and a few other details as well. If I lift this up, you can see there's a few bits and pieces in there. Now, spinning it all the way around to the back, there are actually some details on the back here, which is quite nice. We've got the flowers against the window, and there's kind of these different depths across the building. All this brickwork with the windows kind of indented a little bit, then this window indented here as well with the flowers on the sill, which sticks out a bit further, and then with the flat, the wall sticks out a bit further as well, with the windows being flush to that, which is quite nice. There's a lot of different sort of texture there. Spinning it all the way around again, you can see the end. It's not too bad, but nothing really exciting. And then we come back to the front. Now on the front, we've got this balcony here, which is a nice little area, and there's a little ladder with a lift up arm here that allows the ladder to drop into the alley, which will be below it. If I just lift this up so you can see it forward, try not to break the lights off there, but you can see there is the detective's office in here, which we just talked about. It's got desk fan, it's got this little filing cabinet, it's got this cool kind of fancy chair for guests, and then the smaller chair behind the desk there. There's not a lot of room to get your fingers in there. I have found that it's very difficult to get the little detail items in and out of there if you want to do that. But it is a very nice build regardless. If you look down here, there's a little toilet, so just a little bathroom here, very, very tiny. You wouldn't really fit a minifigure in there, with a door that does close across to give it that kind of shape. That is it really for this story of the detective's office. So nice little bits there. Last thing we've got to do is the rooftop, so let's just get on with that. So this is the last part of the building. However, there is a little bit more to come. So this is the kind of top floor where there's a little kitchen in here where people are baking the cookies, which is part of the story I'll go through later. There's this cool skylight here as well, which is really, really nice. And of course, you've got the water tower at the back here, which is a really ingenious build. There's actually a lot of really, really clever builds across this whole part of the building itself. With this front area having loads of detail made from large hands, sort of Technic-y style, ball jointed large hands for mechs and things like that, and this water tower with a sort of chain link almost, like a tread style, like a tank tread style thing to attach these plates to. So there's a lot of really, really nice stuff there, and as I say, you can see in here, there's the kitchen, and in there there's a cat and some cookies and stuff like that. But that's really it for that part. So let's do the final bit, which will be the roof to go on here, and then the actual facade of the building is going to get some detail work as well. Alright, so that is it. That is the full build of the detective's office. You can see we have the top floor here, which includes the roof and the little kitchen here. The next floor down is a sort of little toilet area, part of this flat, I think it's supposed to be, and this detective's office here, the detective's office itself is just there. We also have Al's Barber's Shop down the bottom here, which has got some nice features for the barber shop, and of course the pool hall or bar down the bottom there. You can also see through this that there is an alleyway, and there's also these two balconies next to the flat and onto the roof there. First of all, let's just have a quick look at the things I really liked about this. I was actually really impressed with the detailing across the top of the roof here. I thought that worked really, really nicely, and in particularly here along this part of the roof here as well, where they use those clever pieces I mentioned before. If we spin this all the way round, you can see at the side here you've got a little door for access to the roof, which is quite nice, and this little light here, which works quite well. The water tower here is also really, really nice. It's a clever little build and just a nice little feature to have on what would otherwise be a very barren rooftop. Spinning all the way around to the back, we have this sloped roof that sticks out the back a bit here out of the bar. Again, there's a door here and this window which opens as well. We've also got some window dressing on the outside here, as well as this little openable doorway here for the little story, the narrative that goes with this. So the idea of this narrative is that this is a sort of prohibition era, so usually that would mean that there's no alcohol, no liquor allowed, but of course this is Lego, so rather than it being alcohol, it's cookies and sweets and things, and the detective is investigating who it is that has been selling these sweets, which are coming in through here. So what you've got on the inside, if I take the roof off here, you've got in here a little liftable staircase. You put in something through from the back here, which comes in through this little door, which hinges out the way, and then that can be fed in through under the stairs to a hole in the wall just here, which is hidden with a little sliding panel here to get that into the actual bar itself. So there's a little narrative there, which is kind of fun and works quite well for what we've got. Let's put the detective's office back on really quickly so we can see the detective's office itself. Now, inside the detective's office, you've got his hat. There's a feature here where nobody's wearing hats because the wanted poster has a picture of a standard Lego person's face. Let's pull that off the wall for a second. Here you go, here's that wanted poster. So it's a standard Lego minifigure's face with a baseball cap on. And the baseball cap is hidden in this little dustbin out the back here. But nobody is wearing a hat because then we would know who actually wasn't wearing the baseball cap. But everybody has these different hats, and the idea is that you can give the different hats to different people. So the police officer has her hat in her hand, the detective has his hat on a little rack here, and there's a number of other really nice features in this detective's office as well. So you've got the hanging poster, which swings to one side. So if I spin this round to the end here, this spins to reveal a little envelope behind it. Now, it's nigh on impossible to get your fingers in there to actually get that out, so it's not really great for play, that bit, but it's a nice little feature regardless. You've got the desk lamp, which is good here, with all these little envelopes and other tat and stuff on the desk. The toilet just is a nice little feature. It's the tiniest toilet in the world. You wouldn't get a minifigure in there. There it is. But it's a nice little feature just to have something on that floor. So when people come up to the detective's office, there's a toilet out there in the waiting room. And then you go up to the top floor where you have the little bakery, which we will have a look at now as well. In here, if we look at the end here, you can see there's a clock on the wall. Tilt this up. There's a mixing bowl there. There's some cookies on the table there. A little cat who's desperately after those cookies on the table there. And there's a little stove and stuff down there as well. So there's lots of little features inside the building. That was the thing that was kind of the most disappointing about the previous of these modular buildings that I got, which was the cinema. The Palace Cinema is great. It's a beautiful looking building and there's some nice features on the inside, but it's nowhere near as detailed as all of this. So let's spin this back round to the front again. Have another quick look at the front, because there's a few details I just wanted to point out. So first of all, we've got this pool sign. It says here on it, pool, which is very neat. I like that a lot. It works very, very well, and it's a nice way to kind of have a pub without it being a pub. You've also got the little newsstand over here, which opens up, and you can take a newspaper out of there. And the barber's shop, little bar out the front here, is a nice feature as well, just to have it as a barber's kind of shop that you would traditionally see. Other than that, there's not much more to talk about here. I do like the alleyway. There's a ladder here, which if you lift this link, you can drop down. So there's a ladder that drops up and down in there to give access to the balconies. The fire escape is what these are supposed to be, really. But there you go. That is the full detective's office building. It's really, really nice. I do like the way it looks, and I'm looking forward to plugging it into the Palace Cinema just to see it side by side with that. And so finally, of course, we need to talk about the minifigures. So there are 6 minifigures included with this set, and here they are with all their accessories that are suggested on the packaging. So we have over here, we have a little pool player with a pool cue. We've got our darts player. This is a dart. It's just a piece of feathers. This one is our barber, of course, Al, presumably his name is, with a pair of scissors. The police officer, the police woman who has a hairpiece. She's designed, or supposed to be, in Al's barber's, apparently, according to the kind of packaging and the building instructions. That's where she is having her hair cut. She's got her hat in her hand. We have our detective, Ace Brickman, here, who's got a magnifying glass. Of course, that works with the Lego magnifying glass magnifying piece in the centre there. And, of course, the woman who's coming to Ace Brickman, the private detective, to ask him to solve a murder or to find a missing person or whatever it is that he's been asked to do. And that's our set of minifigures. They're all narrative appropriate. So we've got the 2 guys in the pool house or the bar. We've got the barber and a police officer who is, of course, looking for the wanted person, the detective helping out the police officer with the missing person, and of course our presumably person asking to find that missing person or whatever it is. So the nice minifigures, you can see they've all got the standard Lego minifigure face, as they always do with this set. If I spin them around, you can see that all of them have got printing on the back. There's nothing on the backs of any of the heads, of course, because they don't do that with this series. They are just traditional, standard minifigure heads. So the barber and the police officer don't have any printing on the back there, but all of the rest of them do, even though it's quite subtle on some of them. So the detective here has just got the lines, and the woman has got the hips. The guys from the bar have got a little bit more detail with the striping on the shirt there, and a little bit more detail on the print of the back there. But that's it. That's all our minifigures there presented to you. I'll just put it all up to the end and give you my final thoughts. And so there it is. That is the detective's office finished with all minifigures out the front there as well. I really like this set. I think it's really, really nice. I wasn't convinced while I was building it. I thought that the interiors looked really cool, but I wasn't really sure that this was kind of as good as the Palace Cinema that I did before. But now it's all together, I think it looks really, really neat. I think it's a really, really nice building. So I think it's really worth it. I think there's a lot of really good stuff going on here. I think the interiors really make a lot of what's going on here as well. So yeah, full recommendation from me. There's a few things that aren't perfect about it, but I think generally speaking it's very, very good. And really, those are my closing thoughts, my final thoughts on this build. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and all of that stuff. Keep smiling and thank you very kindly. I've been that Jayms Wisdom, and I'll see you again soon. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and all of that stuff. Leave a comment down below if you think anything was cool, or you can see that I missed bits, because I know there's a couple of bits I did slightly wrong here, but I'll fix them when I finish the video. Thank you very much for watching it. If you did enjoy it, please go and watch my other Lego unboxing and building videos. I've also started doing Loot Crate and Loot Gaming Crate unboxings, so if you want to check those out, you can do that on this channel as well.